I am Asiya Mohamed Sururu. At the age of 2, I was ran over by a train, lost both of my legs and 3 of my fingers. And the same day I lost my father. Some years later, I lost my mother. I have not let my disability limit my full potential. I became the first Kenyan female rower to participate in either Olympics or Paralympics, 5-time gold medalist in Stanchart Marathon, a brand ambassador, Stepwise Group of Company, and a council member at Kenya Sports Academy. I'm here to share my story with you. Hopefully, you will be inspired by my journey. I was born and raised in Mombasa, and normal like any other kid with my 2 legs, 2 hands and everything. But in 1994, that's when I got my train accident. It was like around midday. So I was into my grandmother so much, so she would be like, at 12, kuja ukule kwa kibanda changu. Like, okay, sawa. So in 1994, I was 2 years of age. So our house and my grandmother's kibanda was separated by these 7 railway lines. So it's something that I used to do it daily. I will cross, eat, and then come back, have my afternoon nap. So this particular day, just like the usual one, I crossed. I went, eat, the usual stuff that I do every day, and I started crossing. So before I crossed the lines, I could see this train, but it was far, very far. To my estimation, it was far, and I thought like, yeah, I could just cross. So I was crossing, but I was like stuck. I was not moving. I'm just there, stuck in between those lines. So my family used to tell me that it is human magnetic, that the train was pulling me to that. And I don't know if there's such a thing, but I actually was stuck there, really stuck. That's when the train was really coming closer. Just like that, I was laying on top of those railway lines. So, fortunately for me, the train was passing where my legs were lying. You see, so I was on top of these lanes, and half of my body from below, that's when the train was passing. So the other side was like on the lanes that the train is not passing. So that's when I get to lose my 3 fingers and both of my legs. And it was during that time when my father was coming from work, you know. He was working near home. So he used to come lunchtime at home. So that's when he get to see the whole accident. And he was so shocked that he got struck by stroke. And the ambulance that took me to the hospital also took him. He died while at the hospital while I was still in the theaters and all that stuff. And because he was a Muslim, so he get to be buried the same day. So my mother was like having what we called double tragedy. So I was in hospital for a very long time, like 1 year and a half, because there were too many complications down there. So a few years later, my mother also passed. So, you know, when you're a kid, everything is possible. It's like you are on your own world when you're young. So when I came from hospital, I was kind of bedridden for some months. But then I started to learn how to crawl with my bats, you see. So I will crawl around the house everywhere, and I will play with everything. And in terms of social life, I used to sit outside the house and see other people playing, other children playing, and it was like really want to play with them until they kind of accepted me, and they will take me everywhere they were going. They kind of come to our place and ask my mom if they could carry me, and we go all over. So it's what we call persistence. You see, hawataki kucheza na mimi, lakini I was hapo hapo niwaangalie, aishangilia, I clap for them until they are like, okay, we will go with you everywhere. But when I started growing up, now like fully understand who is Asiya, you know. I was like having those time when like questioning God, why me? Why am I not walking, running like the other guys are doing? You know, such stuff. Especially like dancing. I used to like dancing. Why can't I just dance? I would look at other people, other children jumping. I was like, I want to jump. Such things, you know, those defying moments, those doubtful moments. So I used to like viatu sana. So especially the heels, I was like, naangalia. I will see and like, hey, mtu ako na miguu nzuri lakini amevaa viatu mbaya hata kuvaa. So unaona wale watu ambao hawana kitu ndio wanapenda ku-question. It's like for instance you are watching football, unasikia unapata mtu anaambia pass, usiangepiga tu hapo ikaingia ndani. Siangepiga na yuko huko ajui venye watu yuko hapo kwa mpira watu venye wanacheza. Hiyo ndio ilikuwa situation yangu. Mimi ni kudefine venye watu wanafanya. So vile vitu ambazo I want to do but I cannot do, sasa I'm correcting the ones that are doing. Kama mtu anacheza huyu anacheza mbaya, kama ningekuwa ni mimi na ujue hapo that person is talking hana miguu, lakini anasema kama ingekuwa it's dancing ningecheza vizuri sana kushinda. So those are those low moments ambazo you really want, you feel like you could do better than them. But at the age of 18, that's when I get to fully accept reality. Like, yeah, this is me, very half, with 7 fingers. Nothing will change. So, ni kukubali na kupambana na maisha. Everything that I wanted to do or I used to like, it's like I cannot have. And I'm like, I will use what I have. After the accident and all that stuff, I was taken to portrays for the physically disabled. It is in Mombasa, in my primary level, that is. And it is from that school where I get to learn these various para sports, disabled sports, all kind of sports, because they were encouraging each students to at least participate in more than two sports. So I kind of know lots of indoor games, outdoor games. So I'm more of athlete from primary. And when I went to Joytown, that is in Thika Secondary School, that's when I get the opportunity to join the standard chartered marathons. Those are the times that I started joining standard marathon when I was in Form 2. From the Joytown Secondary, I went to Shanzu Teachers Training College. And I was, let's say, like the only disabled in the school, in that college at that time. I remember during that time when I was doing our graduation, my sister was like, leo tutaenda out, lazima usherekee ndani na nje ya shule. So we went to a club. So that was my first time kuingia club. Nilikuwa niko tu mesmerized, macho kondo naangalia venye watu wanafanya. And then nikachoka sasa kukula kwa macho, nikaona let me join the dancing floor. So from the amputation side, well, after the hospital, I used to just to crawl on the ground, you know. During that time, I have not yet joined any school, so I'm just crawling around the ground. Even the friends were carrying me on their backs everywhere they are going. So when I join portraits, that's when I get to get a wheelchair. And then after some years, I was introduced to artificial legs and crutches, the elbow crutches. Then I get to learn how to walk with them. From high school to college life, I was using the artificial and the crutches. Actually, I didn't get to train how to actually walk. I was just given the artificial legs and I didn't get to take any steps. I used to jump. So I am more of hopping from one place to another than actual walking. So all those years from Portrees to Joytown to Shanzu, it's all about hopping, more of using the hands than the legs. With the crutches, they kind of gave me that stability because I didn't get to use the legs themselves. But now I'm currently learning how to use the legs, leg coordination than the hands, so that I get to walk without being aided with the crutches. So from the graduation, went with my sister to the club. We get to dance, and it's during that time when I was dancing, I get to, you know, step on so many people with my crutches, and 1 minute I was dancing, the other minute nilijikuta nimetolewa nje, kubebwa kutolewa piu piu nje. So nilikuwa ninatolewa nje but very happy. It's like unaona mtu umefanya nini, what we call accomplishment fulani. At least hata wewe pia ulifika huko ndani. So it's like accomplishment. Sasa then I was my sister was like, hiyo kitu umesikiaje? How was it? I was like, uliniona vile nimecheza? Alikuwa hapo lakini bado namuuliza kama ameona vile nilicheza. Na alikuwa tu hapo. Namwambia nataka turudi tena huko ndani tucheze. Naambia venye sasa tumetolewa tu, turudi nyumbani next time. I'm telling her things that she already seen. Ameniona vile nimefanya, but I'm still telling her, umeniona vile nimecheza. The excitement, you know. So from Shanzu, I get to teach for a 1 year. And then I joined Starfish Tennis Club in Mombasa for the wheelchair tennis. That was in 2017. That's when I professionally become a wheelchair tennis player. And it is the same year that I get to travel outside the country for the first time with the wheelchair tennis team. Some few years later, I get to join the rowing. And it is with the rowing that I get to qualify for the Paralympic Games in Tokyo. I remember during my qualification, after winning my race, and the team was like, do you know you've just become the first Kenyan female rower to participate in the Olympics or Paralympics? I was like, kweli? Ni mimi? Okay, you know, you've just done something, but you don't know the magnitude of it, you see. So I was like, okay, so one thing about me, anything that is being introduced to me, I kind of give it my all, because you know I'm kind of those people that say, I'm kind of seizing every opportunity that I get. Unafanya na yako yote, it's like kama si sasa ni sasa hivi. It was still a new sport to me, and it's just I started rowing in 2018, and 2018 December, and I get to qualify in 2019 October, and in between there of 2019 I get to only practice 1 month in that was in Milan. So I was still kind of a newcomer in the sport, and then I get to qualify. So people are like, you are lucky. It's you're lucky because the sport was originally introduced in Kenya in 2005. It's not that there is no talent. There are so many terrific rowers, but it's just the game itself is kind of an expensive sport, and the federation itself was not that stable. For instance, like me, because it was my first time to be in that Paralympic situation and all that stuff, so I was like, every time I will be in a surprise mode or shock mode, seeing you see someone walking with these cool artificial legs, and they're like, wow. Yeah, such stuff. You see the advanced, the local, the improvised. You see everything there, and it's kind of the motivation that gives you. You see, you get to meet lots of people who are very inspiring. We are all disabled there, but there are some extraordinary disabled people who are doing extraordinary work, and you kind of seeing them for the first time. Umezoea unaona kwa TV ama YouTube, so this time you're kind of seeing them live, you know. The event was electrifying. Big people, you know, rowers have got these huge bodies. People with lots of experience. People like are not even struggling in rowing. They are like full of experience, like, kwani mimi nafanya nini na huyu anafanya nini? You know, wanakupatia ile kitu unaanza kuji-question. Mimi nafanya, while you are struggling on the water rowing, someone is just smoothly. I was like, lazima nifanye bidii, I qualify for Paris 2024. Competition ilikuwa kali, lakini nilikufa na mmoja. Si wajua sisi wa Kenya lazima tupambane. That was the learning experience. I'll get to apply it in Paris 2024 sasa. Nione venye kama nitakuwa hapo ndani ya hiyo medal bracket. We are very fortunate because we've got what we call natural resources. And with rowing, it's all about the waters, from the sea to the lakes to the dams. And in Kenya, we've got all of them. And in Kenya, we are so blessed because tuko with the low altitudes in Mombasa, tuko na high altitudes in Masinga, huko wapi. And in terms of rowing, it's more of a high altitude kind of environment. Though there is a coastal rowing, but for you to gain the momentum, you have to be in a high altitude environment. So Kenya, we have got everything. The actual natural stuff that tunafaa tuko nazo. But it's just we don't have that facilities. Hatuna ile facility. Like we lack the boats themselves. Hatuna maboats. Hatuna coaches. We lack the coaches. So you find so many rowers. Kenyan rowers wanatoka Kenya. They go outside to practice. For example, like me, before going to the Tokyo Games, because I didn't have a coach or a boat, I went to Portugal for training. If us Kenyans could take up and build that facility like the East Africa facility, maybe tutapata so many rowers in and outside the country. What I realized from the Tokyo experience is that I didn't see kitu ya ajabu sana. You know, there are some things that someone else can do and you feel like, hey, hii kitu ni ajabu. Mimi nitafanya vile kweli? I was not in that state. I was like, I can do this. It's just I don't have the equipment or trained personnel, but I can actually do this. Maybe even better than them. So it's very possible. It's just the daily practice. So the rest zinakuja tu automatic. Before 2018, I did like 4 sports. That was badminton, and then I get to do racing, and then wheelchair tennis, and then now rowing, and the indoor games I've played chess, I've played Scrabble, and I know a bit of shot put. And then after the qualification, I just cut down to 2. So I've got wheelchair tennis and rowing for now. And the first marathon, I was maybe 10th or 6th there, the first marathon that I have joined. But after the first one, the rest were like, I've never missed the podium. From there onwards, I'm there, the podium. If you're not seeing me at the gold, I'm at the silver. So I've got like two bronze, and I've got like 3 silvers. I've got 3 silvers actually, and 5 golds. So I've been in the podium so many times. It's just the last year, the 2021, I didn't compete in the 2021 stand chart because I was out the country playing tennis. We were having this wheelchair tennis tour. So, and in tennis, it's all about rankings. The more tournaments you play, the more rankings you get. Even if you don't get to win anything, but it's like the more you play, the 1 point at a time you get. Any time I get into any sports, I'm in my most relaxed mode. I get to learn this disability journey in a very funny way. You know, you are playing, you are in a competition, but at the same time you get to be like, hey, jamani, afadhali mimi jamani, mwenzangu. You see, you are like in a group therapy situation, especially when kama mko in a team event. You know, si ati niliamka tu tayari nimeaccept mimi ni mlemavu nimejikubali kabisa. No. With the love inakuja appreciation. With the appreciation unakubali situation. Sasa unaanza acceptance. Acceptance inaingia sasa. With those 3, hautakuwa na hii watu we sijui low self esteem, sijui uko na self pity, sijui you've got hizi magonjwa za ajabu siku hizi nasikia watu wanakuanga na depression. Napata mtu ako na depression. Kuvunjika kwa mwiko si mwisho wa kupika. So you have to accept, love yourself and move forward, because ile unapitia, there is always someone else around the world that is passing worse than yours. You go into a restaurant and people think that hautaweza afford hiyo meal, hizo vitu zinalipwa kwa restaurant. People are looking at you in a very awkward manner. Wanajua tu wewe hapo utakuwa katika ile situation ya chonga viazi. So it's those small things, if you've got low self-esteem, they can really put you down. Like you feel like you're nobody kabisa. Yeah, even when you walk around the city, people always look at me like, hey, huyu ni alien. Huyu ni kama alien. Ushaona mtu anaangaliwa ni kama kimtu kimetoka another planet. Sasa hawa wanaitwa aliens. Yaani ni kama amekuja hapa, ni huyu ni foreigner mwingine atoki katika hii planet Earth. Hivyo ndio watu naangaliwa. wajua mtu anaweza kuangalia but haiwezi kukumaliza kukuangalia. The society imeanza kuelewa kuwa we are living with people ambao wako na disability, na hao watu wako here to stay. Si hata watakuwa siku moja tu watipotee. Tuko hapa, tutaketi tu na nyinyi. Hii it's an open club, anyone can join anytime. Unajikuta umeandika membership without you knowing, umeanza kuwa wanaitanga nini ile life membership, sijui ni permanent membership. Umejoin club just like that, na huwa ni hivyo. And there's also there are watu wako na disability wako mara mbili. Kuna wale wanaipata at early and wale wanaipata at late in years. Wajua, when you get disability at early stage, it's easier. It's kind of easier to accept. Like most of them wale ambao nimekutana nao me fully accept ni wale wameipata when wako utotoni, utoto level. But hawa ambaye wako troublesome, unapata hata ni mlemavu mwenzako anakuangalia, lakini anakuambia unaniangalia nini? Una realize kuwa it's uzee nini. Sahi si kama vile kitambo unaweza ingia kwa ofisi ukaona hakuna ramp, hakuna lift, unapanda stairs mpaka unahema kwa kama umetoka practice. It's very different. Sahi anywhere you go, ka stairs, ka ramp up. Ka stairs, ka ramp. Those challenges are still there, but they are doing a great work. I'm really looking forward in a day where people living with disabilities are given equal opportunities in terms of employment, education, sporting activities, anything that consists of us in participating of building the economy.